My name's Nick Lyons, and I began working at Territory 3 years ago. And I'm a senior motion designer here and get a chance to kind of work on a wide array of projects. I've been in the design and motion graphics industry for about 7 years now. And yeah, it's been a great place to be at Territory. We kind of do a lot of different types of projects in film and commercial work. Yeah. So the footage I was working on was the work that we did on Ready Player One. And it was one of the shots towards the end of the film where he is powering up using this Gundam power-up. And he basically opens up this HUD that we created and puts his hand through this 3D model of this glove. And once he puts that on, he transforms into this Gundam character and takes on the bad guy at the very end. So yeah, it's a pretty exciting scene. Our artists here, we worked on the intro to the Oasis. So when the main character puts on his headset at the very beginning of the film, and sticks it on, and we travel through that long kind of tube into the Oasis, we developed and created that and designed that entire sequence into that. So that was kind of the initial, our initial dive into this kind of brand new world that they discovered in Ready Player One. I very much enjoyed working with the O2 device. I found it very easy to kind of get my hotkeys set up, assign the different kind of movements and motions that I can normally go through in my 3D programs. It was easy to set up the camera movements and different macros, and I feel like there's literally endless amounts of customizability you can do with it. So it's if you really sat down and kind of went through all the different actions and types of bits and pieces that you go through on like a daily normal 3D workflow, you could really like hammer it out and kind of refine it to a very high degree, which is nice. And I think the different movements that you can do on the joystick and the tapping and the different buttons on the side of the device, I felt like offered a lot of options to assign certain actions that needed to happen. So if for one reason you needed to press something on the left side of the device, you could easily do that. But if you needed to just kind of like scroll and move things through the joystick, that was quite easy as well. So I think the O2 would be fantastic in working through the whole creative process. I think the 3D process is quite complex, and I think it would definitely be a help with that. But I also think the concepting phase, Photoshop and Illustrator and After Effects, where you're kind of doing the same tasks over and over again, it would especially kind of come into its own. And yeah, I think the functionality of it is so customizable, which really gives you the options that you need as a creative person to fix things the way you need them to. Overall, I really like the concept, and I think if there's a way that you can kind of use the O2 as well as access like menus and kind of the overall interface, if you didn't create a macro or keybind for it, that would be really helpful, because sometimes like there's so many different menus in these 3D programs that sometimes if you could just jump into these menus if you haven't created a bind for it, then that could be helpful. It might be able to do that as well, but yeah, I found it overall very, very intuitive and very flexible, which is a good experience.